Hey, shalom, shalom, call halal, yeah, about Shimmy, I was shot by Shimmy Kakadash, double to the apostles at the S. Salutations to the elect that's in the flesh. Hey, yo, quick video. Man, you know, it's Halloween, these fucking people, man. Everybody know Halloween is off, even the local dumbass. But these people still gonna celebrate, you know, because they ain't got shit else better to do. While the judgment is still coming. Hey, the Lord said in the Apocrypha, you know, I believe it's 2nd Ezra, he said, out of all these scourges, they still shall not return from their sins. You know, so out of all the judgment that's happening, these people still gonna be wicked. So at the end of the day, they ain't gonna repent. It's just best to send in nukes and wipe them out and start all over. But meanwhile, while we here, we're gonna deal with the micro incidents that's happening now. So tomorrow's the 1st. Food stamps is supposedly cut off in a lot of these states. Some people saying like certain states or, you know, whatever, but a lot of these states, people not supposedly getting their stamps for the month of November. But you would think, right, people would downsize, you know, on their spending. And, you know, these people are fucking sick, man, when it comes to like common sense and logic. You know, the squirrels and the rats and the animals and the deers and the raccoon got more sense than these fucking people. So your rent is coming around, that's due. They evicting people left and right throughout the country for back rent, whether it's market rent or whether it's subsidized housing. And these holidays take up so much of your money, but people, you know, care about being left out, FOMO, fear of missing out. And people care about what other people think about them or have to say. So they doing these Halloween parties, they buying costumes and all this other shit. When at the same time, tomorrow morning when you wake up, your fucking stamps is turned off and you bitching and complaining that you don't have money, you need your stamps, this is not right. But you would think, like, why would somebody sell, if somebody know they stamps is about to be turned off the next day, or it's a chance that you might not get them, wouldn't you save or wouldn't you prepare for these things? But the answer is no, because people, you know, rely on a system. And the Lord said, what, Isaiah 30, woe unto you that trust in Egypt, and let the shadow of Egypt be your confusion. But you will buy a Halloween costume, you will buy alcohol. You know how many people gonna party and shit tonight, and they wake up tomorrow and they got no stamps. Then they go down there bitching and complaining or doing videos or wanting to steal from these stores because they have no stamps. You know, that shit don't make no sense. But you want to celebrate Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, all these bullshit holidays that's built on wickedness, built on lies, and built to keep you in poverty. And then like to complain. And what I think about is with Joseph, the story of Joseph, because the Lord told Joseph the vision of Egypt going into a famine. And he gave him the breakdown. He told Pharaoh. Pharaoh had the dream, but Joseph knew the breakdown of it and told him what it meant. And this wasn't no secret. You know, it was 7 years that, you know, oh, it's a famine coming upon Egypt. He built storehouses and everything. But it's funny, when you read that story, the people Genesis 37, chapter 37 through 50. When you read up in that story, going towards the last chapters, when you read in that story, the people when the famine came, they was buying food from Joseph. But you would think like, yo, wouldn't you have your own food? Wouldn't you prepare for the famine? No. People depended on the system, the government, to feed them. Then when they ran out of money, they said, yo, we got cattle and land. So they sold their cattle and land. Then you would think like, yo, why the fuck wouldn't you, first of all, why wouldn't you save and prepare for the famine? One. Two, if you got cattle and land, why the fuck wouldn't you just produce from your land and your cattle and feed your family? You sold your cattle and land. Then when they ain't had no more cattle and land, they sold themselves. They was like, listen, we don't have no more cattle and land, but we'll sell you our ass. Meaning we'll become laborers to you. We will become laborers to you and work for you as long as you feed us. And that shows you how fucking lazy people is. They would give up their responsibility they would give up their freedom and their responsibility to be enslaved. Because people hate responsibility. People hate, they just want to be left alone and live life. They love comfort. So, and that tells you, when you're reading that story, that tells you something about people. And that's how Pharaoh over Egypt was able to become a tyrant and enslave the people, So, that's a nice red bone. That's why I was Paul Salakia. She looked at all right, though. But I'm still in monk mode for now. But anyway, not to get off topic. Yeah. She, so people want to depend on a system for shit, to give them shit. So if you allow them to feed you, you allow them to starve you. You know what I mean? And they're going to wake up and things going to be regulated. The stamp's going to come back on, but it ain't going to be what the fuck you think. You know what I mean? You're going to be limited to certain items. It's going to be digital, more digital, because it's digital now, EBT, electronic bank transfer. Because food stamps is really like the monopoly money. Nobody really get food stamps no more. That's bullshit. It's EBT, electronic bank transfer. But it's going to go, they're going to probably call it something else, to where you limited to certain items. You limited to certain products. You can't buy cookies and shit, juices and shit, potato chips and shit like that. So it's going to be limited. But it's crazy how people will not take action and how much they trust Esau to provide for them. And they ain't calling on the Lord. Hey, check this out. Why won't these people, that's on these food stamps and shit, go to your local churches? Well, how about that one? Why don't you, they should, Joel Osteen in Texas, when that flood, I think it was Harvey, when that flood hit Texas, Houston, he shut his doors. He ain't even leave the church open for shelter for the people, temporarily till, things get figured out. That motherfucker locked his doors. And these supermarkets, they could shut their doors too. Like, listen, we only doing curbside pickup, or you got to order online. And that's all set up for the MOTB system, the B system anyway. So it's all staged. It's all bullshit. If the end game. But these idiots out here, man, they take shit for granted. they take shit for joke. But that squeeze gonna get tighter. And I'm glad this shit is happening. You know, for one, it's prophecy. You know, and we want to see the prophecies fulfilled, whether they in our favor or not. Because ultimately, they're going to be in our favor when it's all said and done. But hey, man, it is what it is. I'm out of here. I got 3 items from the supermarket. This shit was like $14. But, you know, it's all good. But hey, let's see what happens tomorrow. People going to laugh, get drunk, party tonight, and wake up tomorrow possibly with empty food stamp. No, nothing on that what they used to get ain't gonna be gone. But tonight they might spend $200-300 on weed, alcohol, Halloween parties, masks, acting a goddamn fool. Then they be like, yo, you know, wouldn't you take that $200-300, $150, whatever you spent, and hold it for the following day just to see what happened? But no, everybody's so into bread and circus, and they so addicted to their pleasures that they don't even know basic survival tactics. It's fucking sad, you know, but it is what it is. Fuck them, you know what I mean? But I'm out, man. Until next time, shalom. Okay.